Well, Zamita is a project which is between Northern Technical College and 3 other cooperating partners. These are SIDA from Sweden, VOLVO from Sweden, and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. The partnership is such that Nortec provides the training infrastructure, or the training institution, where investment in training equipment is done by the Swedish government through SIDA, providing funds to buy equipment from VOLVO. And the whole project is implemented by UNIDO. And that's the private-public development partnership which we have here at Nortec, which we're calling Zamita. It started about 5 years ago. The implementation started about 5 years ago, but I know that discussions between the Zambian government and the Swedish government must have taken place a few years before that, when we showed the emissaries who were sent to come back in 2012, 2013. We were very glad to hear that we had the basic infrastructure, and we definitely were candidates to be selected for the implementation of the project. And so when finally we were told that we had been selected, we were even happier. So basically that's the background to Zamita. Well, the impact that Zamita has had to Nortec is profound. Firstly, in terms of equipment, in the heavy equipment engineering unit has been tremendous. I've never seen such investment in any institution owned by the government of Zambia at our level. This has been there's been tremendous investment, and so the college has benefited in the sense that the equipment was not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of quality, and the level of technology was very, or is very satisfactory, because we have state-of-the-art equipment on which our students are being trained. So we first recognized the fact that our training equipment has been modernized and upgraded and updated, and that can only add value to our training. We also, from this project, we developed a diploma program in heavy equipment engineering. Because when we did a training needs analysis around the country before this project was implemented, most companies indicated that there was a gap in terms of technologists, as we call them here in Zambia, technologists who were not being trained in heavy equipment repair. And so through this project, we were able to come up with a program together with the TVET authority in Zambia called TVETA. We were able to come up with a curriculum, and as I'm speaking, we are already training students at diploma level, or what we call technologist level, which was never there before this project, which was not there. So since independence, we were training in heavy equipment repair or engineering. We were training students only up to the level of technician or advanced certificate. But through this project, we've been able to upgrade. And our hope is that we can even upgrade further and probably begin to offer degrees. Another benefit to Nortec, this project has brought is the fact that our lecturers have been trained very well in heavy equipment repair, because this project is really in the heavy equipment engineering unit only, and all the lecturers in there have been trained to match the technology that they are using right now to teach our students. I can definitely say without any doubt that our heavy equipment engineering lecturers are the best trained in Zambia, at the level of diploma or technologist and going downwards. Those who are offering heavy equipment engineering training do not have as well-trained lecturers as we do, because we've had training here, experts coming to train our lecturers from, far and wide, as far afield as Austria, Vienna, who have come to train here. We've gone locally, to train in places such as Barloworld and Sandvik. Our lecturers have been taken there because these are the companies, that deal in heavy equipment, supplied to the mines, and they have equipment that we may not have, and so we've taken our lecturers there under the sponsorship of this project to go and be updated and upgraded, in their training. We've sent some of our lecturers to South Africa, VOLVO South Africa, which is a little more established than what we are doing in the country as regards VOLVO equipment. The lecturers we have, can do very well anywhere, in the world, because they really have been trained by the best, sent by VOLVO, to come here. And also we've gone to, all associate companies that are in Zambia to have them trained. And this has also enhanced our relationships with all the providers of heavy equipment in the country. So this has been, tremendous. We know also that our infrastructure, our workshops have been spruced up because of this project, and we are always very proud to show off our workshops when visitors come, and almost without exception, all visitors are, stand in awe when they see what has happened, with this project. The Zambian government is in this project is represented by Nortec. So whatever Nortec is doing on behalf of the government of Zambia, because the government itself cannot come and train students. So because the government owns the institution, so whatever we are doing as Northern Technical College is being done on behalf of the government of the Republic of Zambia. So that's number one, that the government of the Republic of Zambia is training students here through the Northern Technical College. That's row number one. But row number two also, to facilitate this training, the government of Zambia has made available funds to pay for this training, that many students who are on this program are sponsored by the government of Zambia, so that it becomes easy for vulnerable and people who cannot afford to pay, that they come onto the program and are trained. And in that respect, the government is helping in alleviating poverty, because these students, once they are trained and they graduate, they will get, go on, find employment. And so the knock-on effect is tremendous, because each student we train probably will look after 10 other, siblings and relatives once they get employed. So the government, the role of the government of Zambia cannot be underestimated in this program, as I said earlier. The project has played a tremendous role. When I said lecturers have been trained, that helps management to run the institution. The new methods of training, the equipment that has been brought, both in the workshops and also the upgrading of lecture rooms, where we have things like projectors and good lighting in there, has also taught management that we can do this in other departments. So that has been tremendous help. So we are running the Zamita project efficiently, because the people that are working in there have been trained very well, number one. And also, as I said, we have learned a lot from what is happening in Zamita. Some of the things that we are doing in Zamita were not happening in other departments. By the way, we have 4 departments, academic departments in the college. Electrical department, mechanical department, electrical engineering department, mechanical engineering department, and the Department of Applied Sciences and Business Studies. And the 4th one is automotive and heavy equipment repair. Now, these 3 are not part of the Zamita project, but there's tremendous lessons that we have learned, since the implementation of the Zamita project. Secondly, all managers involved in Zamita, starting from myself, have been sent for training, in the management of institutions such as ours. So we've been sent for training to go and to add on what we already know and what we are doing, and probably to update, meet other people, and share ideas and so on and so forth. So the running, not only of the project, but the entire institution has been facilitated tremendously by the project. Yes, as you know, when there is change, there's always pressure, there's always resistance, and so change management is always very important, to ensure that you do not upset what you already have. The goodness of the project is that it happened only in the section of the college, and so if there was anything to upset, or it was only upset in one corner of the college, but the effect that has rippled into other departments, and so this ripple effect, which has happened slowly, and people accepting what has happened, and so we have slowly integrated new methods in the other departments without causing much upset in these other colleges. But because for those who are in the automotive and heavy equipment repair department, because people were being upgraded, and they were being shown and taught and trained to see how the same things could be done in different ways. That also helped in the management of the change that was coming. And because most of them were benefiting, it was very difficult to resist. So for instance, those who were doing online courses right here, because that's another way our members of staff were trained. They had courses online, which they were going through from different training institutions, including VOLVO, itself. They were told, for instance, if you finish your training or in online training and you finish it successfully, you go and do another course abroad. And those who finished, and everyone was fighting to finish, and they knew that they would have some benefit. But those who finished, yes, were actually sent abroad to go and enhance their training and see what other people were doing in other countries. So the management was, indeed, this was coming bit by bit. It wasn't a shock treatment to the institution. We received the project bit by bit, and now it is an integral part of the college. Well, firstly, I would like to thank the three partners, because everyone was involved in the procurement of the excavator. Obviously, it was donated by VOLVO, but UNIDO made sure that it arrived, by following up and so on and so forth. And of course, finances were provided by the government of Sweden through SIDA. This is not the only equipment that we have, and we own some other equipment, pieces of equipment which we are looking after, and each piece of equipment has a budget line through which we support it. All the equipment that is owned by say the Department of Automotive and Heavy Equipment Repair are looked after through a budget line, for such equipment. So our plan is indeed to have this excavator looked after through our budget allocations, which we have every year. It's not something that we will fail to maintain. Like I said earlier, we have some other equipment and some other properties, which we are looking after and buying spares and maintaining, and so we will not fail. In terms of special repairs, if they come and so on and so forth, our lecturers are around, to help us in the repairs. But if it is a problem that is complicated, we also have a connection to a VOLVO franchise holder in the country called Babcock, and Babcock and Nortec will continue to work together to ensure that the excavator is looked after, and it benefits the training of our students as we have planned. We have a simulator for that excavator. So our training will be on the simulator first, and only the students who are trained on the simulator will only graduate to come onto the actual live excavator when they are proficient. That will minimize damages on the equipment, because we'll be dealing with only students who are well trained. The repair itself and using it as a training tool will also help us in its maintenance. Well, as a college, I think I've already explained how we have benefited from the program, the Zamita program, the Zamita project. We we are really indebted to, firstly, the government of Sweden, to VOLVO, to UNIDO, and indeed to our own government, the government of the Republic of Zambia. Because without the government of Zambia, we probably would not be hosting this this project. And so we are very grateful, that the government of the Republic of Zambia agreed to find a training institution in the country. And so our benefits are tremendous. As I said, we have trained very well trained manpower now. We have equipment. Our workshops are, world class, and management has also been trained. Their training has been enhanced, from time to time. I think number one, we worked together very closely, with the people who are implementing the project. We were implementing the project together with UNIDO, we had also regular project steering committee meetings to see where we are and, if there were issues to be resolved, that these issues were resolved without wasting, time. And so these meetings that we were having, helped in that regard. The government of the Republic of Zambia, as we have said earlier, brought on students with bursaries and paying fees for them and so on and so forth. And that also helped, the number to reach the target numbers that we required, there, because if we didn't have this, and again, we would like to commend the government and ask the government to continue doing it. If we didn't have this, probably would not have had many students on the program, because many of them probably would not have afforded to be on the on the program. So we were facilitated by close cooperation among all the stakeholders, with meetings that we were having both here and abroad, to ensure that problems were sorted out quickly. We also went and saw what other people were doing, because VOLVO and SIDA are not only working in Zambia, they are working in other places in Africa and some other places far afield. And there's always a meeting, where we meet and share ideas of how these projects, and that helps to see how other people have solved problems and how they've made the project sustainable. LKDF is the sharing of knowledge, which I've just talked about. That UNIDO is helping in implementing several projects with VOLVO and Scania, and with SIDA. In some places also with United States Development Agency, USAID. But they're working together, and every year there's a meeting, where we share knowledge. And LKDF is this organization that is running, which is constituted, by UNIDO, which brings all the projects in Africa. And at one point we also had one from South America. We come together and compare notes and share ideas, share knowledge on how, this. I know there's a project in Ethiopia, I know there's a project in Iraq, in Morocco, and all these people come together and share, ideas. The lessons learned from PPDP, which is, private-public development partnership, are that if you put your efforts together, you probably achieve much. Somebody said teamwork makes dreams work. Teamwork makes dreams work. And when we work together as partners, we will achieve a lot. On our own as Nortec, maybe even as the Republic of Zambia, we would not have the equipment which we have. there. We would not know that there is a project also similar to ours in Ethiopia, which we have gone and we have seen and we know how they are doing it. And we've gathered some knowledge there and brought it back here to see that our training is so this PPDP has helped us has opened our eyes and extended our horizons and made us better people. And just the synergies that we've created have helped us to achieve a lot of milestones in the training of heavy equipment engineering students. The message to them is that they are welcome. The field is exciting because, when you go to the mines, for instance, you find, huge equipment that, our technicians and technologists maintain and repair. And, it's very exciting, and so we would like our students to go. When you go into agriculture, you find equipment that is repaired by, our students. When you go into construction, you find, equipment which is maintained and repaired by our students. So I will encourage them, to come and train because, areas in which they will get employed are vast and many. It is almost, you find this almost in every sector of the economy. And right now, the economy of Zambia relies on mining, on agriculture, and on construction. And these are the areas where we are providing, manpower. And so I would like to encourage the youths that would like to come, and train in heavy equipment engineering, that they should come because they will not be disappointed, and their contribution to the economy of the country will be evident. Let me also add that we have trained students in this field, and we have sent them abroad. Right now, even yesterday I was looking at somebody in Australia asking about a student we trained and whether we could confirm that he was trained by us in heavy equipment engineering. So you were not only employed here, or you not only contribute to the economy of Zambia, but you can contribute to many economies. We have students in New Zealand, in South Africa, in Australia, whom we have trained, and they have not disappointed. The private sector is that let's get involved in training. We are trying to continue, to encourage, to foster relationships between ourselves and the private sector. Because the private sector in Zambia provides the equipment that we see in mining, in agriculture, in construction, and other, sectors of the economy. Now, they use our graduates. In some small cases, we see people bringing people from outside, and yet we have students who are trained here. So my message to the private sector in our country is that come and see what we have here. If we work together, we will create a cadre of students, of graduates who will not need to retrain when they join the industry, that these graduates will be fully backed, as they say, when they leave, because the private sector is involved in training. When they come and see what we are doing, they will be able to advise what we should improve on or what we should not. We have, gone to them and asked them, during our training needs assessment, training need assessment or analysis. When we went to them for our TNA, they said the things that we wanted, and we've incorporated these things in our curriculum right now. But a curriculum is a living thing. You continue to upgrade, you continue to revise and review, because technology changes. And so we would like the private sector to be involved in the training, because when they're involved in the training, they will receive graduates who they want. At the moment, sometimes people will say, no, they are being trained this way and that way, and so on. But that's why my message to the private sector, or indeed to industry in general, that let's liaise so that we produce graduates who add value to you when they come to work for you. Well, my message is that this field is open to everyone, to both boys and girls, to both female and male. It is important that the young ladies out there, who think this is for male students only, remove that from their minds, that they can, this is a field where they can do as well as their male counterparts, if not better, because they are more careful with their hands, and so we have some young ladies who are being trained, and our focus is to try and improve the number of students who are coming into heavy equipment repair or heavy equipment engineering. It was seen as a male field, but we want to change that, because there's nothing male about it. It is for both female and male, and so we want to speak to the parents, and to the brothers and to the uncles, that let that girl come and do this. The fact that they will make their hands dirty and should be an encouraging factor rather than an inhibiting factor, because everyone will come and watch them. In this field where there are no female, their prospects for promotion is tremendous. Because everyone would like to encourage, this. I went to visit Zambian breweries one time, and I found their heavy equipment engineering technician was a lady, and they call her from, she lives here in Ndola, but they call her even in Lusaka to go and repair some of the, the machines, and that's the kind of thing, because we are losing now on talent, because we are not encouraging young girls to join. Probably the best technologist will be a girl, and so we need to encourage, all of them. What we are doing is to go into schools to speak to them, to speak to girls, and take some of our graduates and take them there to say, look, she is earning a living, and she's doing very well. In this field, and you can also join, and do this. So my message is, don't be discouraged, be encouraged to come and join heavy equipment engineering here at Nortec. What we can only promise is that we will look after this equipment and look after it well, use it for the intended purpose, and that it will benefit not only this institution, but the entire country of Zambia, because our graduates are working in the economy, and we are proud of them. The main benefits for the students from this project is obviously the gap between technology in industry and technology here has been narrowed. Meaning when students or train on the equipment that we have, the training equipment we have, and they go into industry, they they are not shocked by what they find there, because they've already seen this equipment. And that's what we want in all fields, that the gap between what is in the training institutions and what is in industry is zero, because we are training for industry. And if we are training for industry, we cannot have antiquated equipment on which we are training us when industry is light years ahead of us. It's important that that gap is narrowed or completely eliminated. And this is what Zamita has done. And this is why the young people coming out of Zamita are much more able to adapt in industry than fields or departments where we've not had this shot in the arm. For me, the major one was space, because I think in the initial stages we kind of expected that we were going to construct a new workshop, but that didn't happen. And so we used what we already had, and that kind of reduced the space for us. But eventually we overcame that by ensuring that all the equipment there was available to everyone. But that was one of the challenges, and in all the departments it remains a challenge, that we have not expanded as our population has expanded in the college. So that was one of the challenges. But working together with partners, sometimes the challenges are absorbed by your partners. It is very difficult to say, and that's why it is important to work together with others. I know that if we were working alone, the challenges to bring in the equipment, the challenges to bring in experts to come and teach, these people, we couldn't even afford, these things. So because we've worked together, challenges have been very few, I must say. We would like to thank UNIDO and particularly RV, whom we've worked with very, very well, for the smooth implementation of the program.